Hello, home bosses. So earlier this week I shared a video about a niche I've been really excited about, and that is the cut and paste activity book niche. And in that video I mentioned a tool that was launching that I thought would make this niche much more accessible for self-publishers. Well, that tool is now live. It's called the Cut and Paste Worksheets Generator, and today I want to show you a quick look at it, share 4 tips for anyone thinking about publishing in this niche, and give you my honest thoughts on who this app is for and who it probably isn't for. So I'll be sharing more in the next few days, but for now, let's dive in. So let me tell you why this niche has held me back personally. Cut and paste activity books look simple from the outside, a page with some shapes to cut out, some spaces to paste them in, maybe a theme around animals or food or seasons. How hard can it be? Well, when you actually try to make one, here's what you're juggling. You're working out the page layout. The thing being cut out has to be on the right side, easy to identify with enough white space around it, and the thing being pasted into has to be obvious. The activity has to make sense at a glance. Then you're thinking about the cut pieces themselves. Are they the right size for small hands? Are they easy to cut without being too easy? Are the lines clear? And then there's the paste targets. Where exactly are they? Are they spaced properly so a child can paste accurately? And then you do all of this for 30 or 40 or 50 pages, each one consistently, each one professional, each one usable, and now do it again for the next book and the next. So this is why most self-publishers either avoid this niche entirely or end up producing books that look a bit thrown together. And the manual process is genuinely tedious, and the more polished you want the final result, the slower it gets. So that is why this really holds back a lot of self-publishers. But the app that has been released today makes this process so much simpler. But let's have a look at the niche first, because is it even worth publishing in this niche? And this is what I've found. So I've typed in cut and paste workbook into Amazon.com. I've got the Self-Publishing Titans Pro extension installed, and this gives you a really good overview of what you're looking at. You can also look at this niche without any tools that help you, but this is a really good tool that I like to use to just give me a quick overview. So for example, it tells us that in total there are 545 designs. If you don't have the extension, you can just look here on the top left hand side and it will tell you how many results there are. And you want to really go for a niche that has under 1,000 search results. That means that there isn't that much competition. You're not competing against too many other books. Anything under 400 would actually be ideal. You know, under 400, that means you've got very low competition. And those are the kind of niches that really stand out for me, and they're the unicorn niches these days because they're not easy to find. So when I saw that this one only had 545 results, I thought, great, this is a niche that we can really look at. And out of those 545 results, 28 are independently published. So there are a lot of books from big publishing houses, but there are still independently published books that are obviously selling. And let's have a look at the actual books and see what they're like. So these are the cut and paste workbooks, and you can see that the BSRs are amazing. So this one here is 133,000. This one here, take a look at that, 4,582. That's a brilliant BSR. This one is even better than that, 1,307, 24,000, 7,000. So it's really good to see low BSRs like that. The lower the BSR, the more these books are selling. So that immediately tells me there is demand for these books, especially because they all have quite a lot of reviews, quite a lot of recent reviews. They're decent scores as well. They do have a decent number of 5- and 4-star reviews. And when you scroll down, you see even more. And look at their BSRs, 247. That is the bestseller I know it's very cheaply priced. It's probably not a KDP book. So obviously we can't compete on price with this, but we certainly can compete with all of the other books. And the one I wanted to show you is this one here, because this one is independently published. But the reason I wanted to show you these ones is because they are independently published. This one next door to it is also independently published, and look at that BSR, 64,000. They're brilliant. I just want to show you the inside so you get an idea what these books are like. And this one in particular is a good example of what the app that has been released can do, because it's this type of worksheet that you're going to be able to create. So if we read the sample, it used to be called the look inside, so we can have a look at that. You've got a nice this belongs to page. I recommend that you do that in your books as well. It's not absolutely necessary, but it's good to have some good front end pages. Then they've got their copyright, and then they've got a note to parents and educators. This is brilliant. This is what you ideally want to have in your books as well, and we'll talk about that more in this video a bit later on. And then this is one of the examples for the worksheet. So it says build a word, and you basically have to find the beginning letter. And it says here, what is the beginning letter sound? Then you have to color, cut, and glue. So this one would be a C, cab, and then you can cut it out here and then paste it in this space here. So it teaches children not only spelling, but it teaches them scissor skills. And scissor skills are important for small children to learn because it helps improve their dexterity, and it's just a really good way of learning. It makes them remember the letters or the words better as well. They remember the spelling better, because when they do a physical activity, it kind of stays in your mind a bit better. So this is all helping them to learn spelling, not just cutting and pasting, but also in this case, it's a spelling exercise. It's a writing exercise. So that is one example, and it gives you some more examples here. So these are kind of focused on spelling. They help with maths problems, counting, and there are different teaching modules in this. So that's an example of the kind of pages you can create, and you can see how difficult it would be to do that manually. So you can see why it's so difficult to create these books, and not everybody has these apps to create them with, or this app. I don't know of any other app that can do this at the moment. So this is why I was so excited about it, because I did want to create these type of books, but I just didn't have the patience and the energy to do it manually. So now it's a game changer, because we can actually do this easily with this app. But like I said, not everybody has this app, so there's still a really good opportunity here for us to come in and create these books with reasonably little competition. Here's another one, independently published. Let's have a quick look at that. The cover tells you exactly what's inside. These are the sort of exercises that children can do with these books, and yeah, the BSRs are absolutely amazing. So I want to show you a little look inside the app and show you how it works. So here's the inside of the app, and I was playing about with it a little bit yesterday, and I just created a bunch of these pages that you can then include in your book. And remember that this app creates your whole book for you, the whole interior. So it's really, really easy with a click of a few buttons. But there is a little bit of a learning curve. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. You do need to know how to use this app. And the good thing about this company, Cloudorca, is that they have a lot of training and a lot of webinars. In fact, there was one webinar today earlier where they went through this app. And if you're going to buy this app, I really recommend that you join their Facebook group, because their Facebook group absolutely answers any question that you might have. And you can see what other people are creating with this app, what they're doing. It's a really good community to be in and to see how these apps work. And they've got a bunch of other apps, but this particular app is currently being, or was being beta tested in the last few weeks. And I was absolutely amazed by what this app can create. And there were a few beta testers that were playing with this app and trying it out. So I was able to create all of these pages in probably less than 5 minutes, but obviously I haven't customized them, and you can absolutely customize everything in these apps. For example, if you the way I put these pages up is just very, very simple. If I go to the last one and say I click on this one here, for example, these are all the modules you get in the front end. FE stands for front end. So there are different tiers to this app, but with the first tier alone, the front end, see how many modules you get here. And each module has got more inside. So to customize these pages, what you can do is click on the page, and then it opens up the cut and paste settings. So this is where you can choose different themes, and it just is so easy to use it, because you can really, nobody's going to end up with the same pages, because there are just so many ways to customize them. And all of these are different. So with this one, for example, you get all the themes that you can choose. And this one is about reading the time. So you would click on there, and can you see that the customizing panel is completely different? So this is where you can customize the times. You can also create different rows, a different number of rows, different number of columns. You can absolutely customize everything. The clock hand, and do you want it to show an arrow? There's just so many different ways to customize these pages, not just for one of these types of worksheets, but for all of them. For the cut and paste in order one, if you click on this, it shows you that you can change the number of rows, the border radius, the row spacing. But not only that, you can see up here it's opened up a word pool, and when you click on that, just quickly show you, you've got pre-made sets, and if you click here, you can see there are all different pre-made sets that you can add and change. So you can choose one of these pre-made sets and then just apply an update. And that's how you would create your book. And obviously, if you then get the upgrades, you've got different modules again. So there's all sorts of, let me just click on one of them to show you. So it's loading the template, so it should have added this now. So there we go. The children have to cut out these things and put them in the right place. So it's like a shadow that matches each picture. So many different types of modules and designs. There's another one, complete the pattern. So it's a really good way for children to not only learn about maths and spelling and recognizing visuals, but also to train their scissor skills and their cut and paste skills, really. So that's just a very quick overview of the app. I could spend quite a long time explaining it all to you, but that's why they have training videos and webinars to help you use the app to its full potential and create some really publishing house quality books with this app. And if you're in the educational space, this is absolutely brilliant for you. Right, before I tell you what I think of the app overall, I want to share a few tips for anyone who's thinking about publishing in this niche. Tip 1 is think carefully about your front and back matter. This is the bit most self-publishers skip, and it's a missed opportunity. The front of your book should include something useful for the adult, like a clear instruction page, a note about what skills the activities develop, or tips for how to use the book at home. The back of your book is even more valuable real estate because you can use it for an answer key, a coloring page version of the same theme, a sticker chart or tracker, or a thank you note with a soft invitation to leave a review. The reason this matters is that activity books print double-sided in KDP and you can't waste paper. A blank back page is a signal to parents that you didn't think the book through, and a useful back page makes the book feel thoughtful and complete. And it's what the big publishing houses do. So if you have a look at their books, how they create the front and the back matter. The front matter is basically the pages at the front of the book. So you've got your title page, your copyright page, an explanation page, and the back matter are the pages at the end, which basically give a conclusion, or you could have a coloring page version of the theme, a sticker chart or tracker, or a thank you note. So it's important to have those pages so that your book looks professional and polished. Tip number 2 is do a print test before you publish. So KDP's online preview is quite decent, but it doesn't show you how the book actually feels in hand. So you could order a proof copy before you make it live, and that way you can spot things that you can't see on the screen, like whether the cut lines are clear enough on real paper, whether the binding cuts off important content, or whether, if you're printing in color, the color is the way you expect it. And that can save you from publishing books with problems that you might not have spotted otherwise. So it's a good tip to print a proof copy before you publish. And I don't do that often enough myself. I normally I just order a normal copy like a customer would once the book is published, and very often I've had to go in and make some changes, and I wish I had ordered a proof copy first. So there's a tip, especially for these type of books. I would definitely order a proof copy first. Tip number 3 is to write your book description for the parent, not the child. A lot of self-publishers write descriptions like "your child will love" or "hours of fun for kids," but it's the parent who's actually clicking to buy. So write the description with the parent in mind. Talk about what skills the book develops, how long it'll keep their child engaged, the developmental benefits, the screen-free element, and the educational value. And parents in this niche genuinely read descriptions because they want to feel like they're making a good choice for their child. A lot of your competition isn't bothering with this, which gives you an instant edge if you do it well. Tip number 4 is the cover sells your book, not the inside. So the inside is of course really important with these type of books, but think about the cover, because self-publishers often spend hours perfecting the interior and then they slap together the cover at the end. And I suggest reversing that. Spend quite a bit of time on the cover because that's what gets the click. Once someone has clicked through to your listing, they look at the preview, but if your cover doesn't get them to click in the first place, none of the inside matters. So look at the best sellers in this niche on Amazon. Their covers are usually clear, colorful, themed, and immediately tell you what the book is about. So match that at the minimum. Beat it if you can. So who is this app for and who it isn't for? So these are my honest thoughts on who this app is for and who probably shouldn't buy it. So let's start with who it's for. If you publish on Amazon KDP and you've been wanting to expand into activity books or educational books, but the design side has held you back, this app is genuinely useful. It removes the bottleneck I described earlier and lets you produce books that look professional without spending weeks on each one. It's also a good fit if you already have a brand around children's books or educational content and you want to add a complementary product line. Cut and paste books are perfect for series publishing, and series are where the real money is in self-publishing. I say that very often because it's true. Branding and creating series is what gets you the steady income. So let's talk about who this isn't for. If you are brand new to self-publishing and haven't published your first book yet, I would hold off. This app speeds up production, but you still need to understand the basics of Amazon, like listings, keywords, and the fundamentals of how self-publishing works. So the app is a tool, not a complete business in a box. It's probably also not for you if you only plan to make 1 or 2 books in this niche. The pricing makes sense if you're building a catalog. If you just want to dip a toe in, you might be better off creating 1 book manually first to see if you enjoy the niche. So if you decide this is for you, the front end is currently $47 for the launch window, and the prices increase significantly after that. The full funnel includes a pro upgrade, a premium upgrade, and an elite upgrade with done-for-you icons and illustrations. And I've also put together a bonus stack for anyone who buys through my link. At the front end, you get my Promoting Your Books with Confidence course, which helps you actually market the books you create. And if you go for the full funnel, you also get the Amazon listing system and the children's book marketing course, which is one of my flagship courses, and the total bonus value is $241. So that should be a big help for you, because the app teaches you how to create the books and my bonuses teaches you how to sell the books. So you can find the bonus details and my affiliate link in the description below. So that's it from me today. The cut and paste worksheets generator is live now until the 4th of May, and I'll be back in the next day or two with more details about this app. And if you have questions about whether this is right for you, drop a comment below or hit reply on any of my emails, and I'll do my best to help. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.